Hey everyone, this is Tappers here again, and welcome back to the Kirby Dreamland 2 Let's Play. When we last left off, we went through Ripple Fields, and now we're heading off to Iceberg, the obligatory ice stage of the Kirby series, except it's not exactly obligatory because, well, Kirby's Dreamland 1 didn't exactly have an ice stage. But this stage introduces some new mechanics, which are both good and bad. The first thing being these things, propellers. These are by far one of the worst enemies besides Scarfies in the original game, because as you can see, all of a sudden Kind just exploded and vanished. Because for whatever reason, if they touch you, they will go after you, which I didn't exactly show, but you'll eventually see, as we find Rick hidden behind an ice wall. Don't worry about it. But yeah, when they become enraged, you cannot kill propellers, but this is only if they spot you with a animal buddy. But we also introduce the last power-up of the game, which is the ice power, which is actually really good, I believe anyway. And you can get him by inhaling Master Pengu. That's his name as far as I know. Still kind of annoying that whenever you get hit, you have to eject your power, but what else can you do? One thing I didn't mention is that Rick also has another ability besides being good on land. Well, this kind of goes hand in hand. He doesn't slip on ice, which is only really relevant on Iceberg because you won't find it in any other world, as far as I know, and it's kind of evident as we face a new mini-boss named Blocky. He is the stone ability mini-boss that we face, and by defeating him, and if we have Rick, we get an awesome combination. We get to pretty much be a clown, ride on Rick the stone hamster, and just let the game play itself for us. In some cases, you do have to kind of hit left or right because sometimes you'll just be hanging on the edge. And that's the end of the first portion of Iceberg. Now, once we get back to the little hub menu select area, there's one thing you'll probably notice if I go far enough, is that the way this is laid out, there are actually 4 stages in this world instead of 3. Every world after the third pretty much it goes by the number based on the world. So this one will have 4, the next one will have 5, 6, 7, and yeah, that's pretty much it. But now this is where the game starts throwing the old mini-bosses at us, like Jump Shooter. Honestly, we don't really need this power, but we're going to fight him anyway because, well, it'll make the next section a breeze with the limited use, but that's of course assuming that he will attack us, which he does, so we're all good on that. I also didn't mention that the opening sequence when we head into Iceberg, it also showed kind of some more comedic value with having both Rick and Kind involved. Basically, Kind getting ditched for the ground game that's necessary for Centurions. Well, not really Centurions, but Kind gets to be frozen today, so too bad. Now, it may not have shown Ko, but he does have his uses in, well, like this area where we can just use the parasol power. But now in this room, we have access to, I want to say, all the powers except one, as far as I could tell. I didn't actually get a very good look. It looked like the ice power might not have been there, but you need fire in order to progress. So fortunately, that's a room we can continue to enter. Also, yeah, there was a propeller right there just as a trap, but I know to check before I do anything because propellers are really bad. And the thing is, they appear in later Kirby games. Well, not many, but they're in Kirby's Dreamland 3, and they are no threat whatsoever. Just putting that out there as we continue on. Eventually, I'm going to also get rid of Ko because I think I do want to listen to more of the theme. Yep, I did it right there, and I stick with the burning power. Now, I called it fire, but it's actually burning, because now technically, fire and burning are, well, two different powers, which I think was evident in, what was it? Kirby's Adventure? Although I think it only had, what's it called? Burning and not fire, because fire is pretty much the flamethrower and burning is the rush attack. I think some later games would have both of them, but not this one at least. But yeah, this is Mr. Frosty. He's a staple mini boss in the series, but right now I'm just waiting for him to use his hilarious attack of spasticness. And for whatever reason, he doesn't want to do it. So eventually, I just get sick of his crap and just decide, screw it, we'll do it some other time. And we get Kind back because, well, he's a fish, he'll survive the Arctic Ocean. And we also get, now I've mentioned that he has some pretty good combination abilities. Freeze is really good with Kind because, well, if you're in the water and moving. But you want to be really careful because, sorry about the yawning, if you hold it for too long, Kind will freeze. And also one interesting thing to note is I think he is one of the few that can reliably kill the propellers in the game. I don't know if I don't think Rick can do it unless he does it while they're unprovoked. See, like that. It was angry, but we killed him. You can't stop Kind. I think one time I did have the ice ability with Kind. I ended up, what was it? Freezing myself solid, and then I kind of screwed myself over. But like right there, now I got rid of it, and it's like I need to be really careful and not enrage him, but he's coming after me, and I could have easily died right there, but I kind of knew what I was doing, except kind of not really. But that's the third stage of this world, getting another one up, because all of a sudden I've gotten pretty good at that. I mean, I think I had a playthrough, or a test playthrough, where I wasn't able to get any, but I was doing the timing wrong. So now you might be wondering, where the heck is the rainbow drop in this world of Iceberg? Denmark, Iceland. Well, it's actually in this segment. We need Kind in order to get it, so we want to ignore Ko and go through an auto-scroller, which is kind of annoying because you can get crushed by blocks if you're not careful, and there's also enemies waiting to ambush you, like the Master Pegus. And then you have the bouncies that kind of come after you. This segment right here where I'm about to go up this kind of opening, there are these star blocks where you have to kind of get rid of them quickly, otherwise you will get crushed because, well, having an animal buddy means you have a much bigger hitbox and you can't really get out. Also, also the screen will continue to scroll, so you need to head in the door quickly or you will die. Although I don't know if I should say die in a game like Kirby, but let's not worry about it. So, we need Kind and the firepower. I'm waiting for these planners. I actually don't remember what they're called. They are Glunk. That's what they're called. So, in order to get the rainbow drop, we need fire. We need to get down there, but we can't hit those star blocks. So, we need to release the power and inhale these star blocks. Unfortunately, yet again, I screw this part up because apparently I remember reading a kind of like a little walkthrough or whatever saying that, oh, you can just release the power and suck in both the block and your power back in, which is completely false, by the way, because it's unbelievably difficult. And speaking of difficult, not taking damage in that area is kind of tricky. But we pretty much have to backtrack, but there's not much to worry about because, well, we'll wait in a moment as we clear the stage, head back in. I skip forward, kind of edit this part out, because what you want to do is deposit, oh, not like that, release the power, get rid of a block, and immediately get your power back before it crushes in the water. If you can get rid of 2 blocks, then you'll be able to head into the chamber, destroy the blocks, and then boom. We've got the 4th rainbow drop, and we can immediately exit the stage. Now, I could have went to the boss right away, but there is actually something that I do show. And for some reason I didn't actually put in the music. Oh, it's actually kind of screwed up. So what I end up doing is I'm trying to grind for, at the time I thought I was going to be grinding for an animal buddy, but what I was actually doing was trying to get something that's required in order to get 100%. You see, whenever you defeat a mini-boss, you get an animal buddy, and in some cases, if it's a set animal buddy that you would get something else. You would get a gooey, which is a little black blob monster thing, which is sort of a cameo to a later game in the series, Kirby's Dreamland 3, but that's not actually what I get the first time. I get something that's incredibly rare, which you will see right about now. This is a pink gooey, as far as I know. And collecting them, you end up getting a 1-up. And that counts towards the 100% completion. And then I get the regular gooey. It's kind of weird that I got the rarest one first, but I mean, that's perfectly fine by me, because now we get to finish Iceberg properly by fighting the Ice Dragon. Now, he's not exactly a big staple of the series, but he does appear in a few games, and he's kind of cool looking. I mean, he's an Ice Dragon, so he's not exactly a... I mean, he almost would be kind of like a Horsey or a Kingdra or a Seadra, but I don't even know what I'm talking about. But I love that face when he just faces the screen. His attacks are kind of easy to avoid, but you do have to kind of beware, because the only way you can hurt him without abilities is getting the stalactites, I think. And they do split in pieces when they hit the ground. Do not touch the pieces because they will hurt you. You can suck up 2 in a row, but only if you're able to capture 2 that are like next to each other as they fall, or consecutively, I should say. If you have one on the left and then right, then that's... well, actually, no, that's not entirely true. You can get it no matter what. It's just I didn't do it for this fight because I was being slow and all. But yeah, that's pretty much it. We get a really wacky little dance where Kirby slides all over the ice physics and does some flip-flopping around. So that's the end of that stage. Next time we'll be going to Red Canyon. This has been Tappers, and I'll see you again next time.